All right, so she's completing her Competent Communicator, and over the 8-month, Meredith has strived to amuse and entertain us, which she has. Today, she's going to inspire you. Please help me welcome Meredith Troy.
Does the world seem colder to you? Not in the sense of climate change. It's not that kind of speech. But the way people interact nowadays, the way people look at each other, talk to each other, our everyday is consumed with different things, not all positive. When I think back to my childhood, and I'm barely 40, so I do remember a time when men held open doors for women. When you put your blinker on, somebody actually let you pass. Also those times when you would see an elderly person being assisted by somebody. I remember those times. Nowadays, if you look somebody in the eye and try to smile, you're likely to get socked, maybe punched, right? There's also people that are so aggressive out there, they don't think anything about hiding behind their computers and slamming people online and saying just really awful things. Now I'm thinking to myself, what changed? Why is everyone so cold? And then you think about it. And I have a couple different scenarios that may possibly play into this. The first being politics. This past political season was horrendous. There was bickering back and forth. There was vile spewed left and right. And even our newly elected president thinks nothing of spewing hatred to the masses via Twitter. This isn't just a Republican thing, this is a Democratic thing. This is everybody's thing. This has become common. You hear this and you assume this is just the way it is. Is this the way it is? But what about some other, maybe it's not politics, maybe it's technology. When I was young, I didn't have a cell phone, but nowadays, there are more cell phones than there are people on the planet. Think about that for a minute. More cell phones and devices than there are people to even use them. Unbelievable to me, but you'll even see young kids with cell phones. Do you think anything of it anymore? Probably not. We hand tablets and devices to babies, infants, toddlers. Think nothing of it. Grandma's using it, grandpa's using it, everyone's using it. So maybe this is it. I've never seen so many tops of heads before in all of my life. Think about the last time you were at a restaurant. Did you see families and couples interacting, or did you see them on their phones? I would wage that there is probably at least half a restaurant at any given time on their phones. Why have things gotten so cold? It brings me back to what we can do about it. What I think would be the most advisable thing to do is imagine yourself in the world in which you would like to live in, and then act accordingly. Imagine the world you would like to live in and start living that life today. There are so many small steps that we can all take to start making the lives of everyone around us, complete strangers, even better every day. Just a few examples. If you ride an elevator at work, I ride an elevator at work every day. Do you ever say hi to the people in the elevator? Or do you just walk in, push your number, and put your head down, or on your phone? Say hi. There's nothing wrong. They may think, why is this person saying hi to me? But you know what? At the end of the day, they're going to be happy that you even interacted with them. What about the security guard that you pass on your way into the office? Or the receptionist? Do you say hi to them? Do you welcome them? Just say hello? I know we do in Toastmasters. This is something we do. This is part of the minutia of Toastmasters. We welcome people. We say hi to everyone. But this is something that is going away. Think about another thing you could possibly do, and I've done this before, and I think my child loves it when I do this, is more of the paying for someone behind you. Have you ever considered paying for someone behind you when you're in a drive-thru or when you're buying coffee? Do you know, it's happened to me before. Somebody has actually paid for my meal ahead of me. That's the only reason I started doing this. Someone paid for my meal, and I was a single mom. And you have no idea how much that Happy Meal and cheeseburger meant to my family. You don't know the impact you're going to make on somebody when you're just thinking about a small thing you can do. You don't have to spend money. You don't have to do anything different than you're normally doing in your day-to-day life. You just have to make small changes. Which reminds me of a movie. I'm hoping most of you have seen it. It's a really great movie. It's called Pay It Forward. It features Kevin Spacey, Helen Hunt, and Haley Joel Osment. This story about Pay It Forward, which was a book at one time, is about a social studies teacher that gives an assignment to his small class. The assignment was an essay, to write an essay on how they can change the world. Now, as a 12-year-old receiving that assignment in class, you can imagine a 12-year-old wanting to change the world. What can a 12-year-old do to change the world? But during the course of this movie, you find out how you go ahead and do that. For example, taking small steps, paying it forward a little bit at a time. And that's really what happened in the movie. It was small gestures, and then those people paid on the small gestures, and they paid it forward. This idea of paying it forward is something that I would like to ingrain within all of us. It doesn't take a lot to be a good person. It is harder to be cold than it is to be nice. It really is. And it makes you wonder why so many people are so cold. Change has to start now. Change can start today. You can start making these minor changes today, and by doing that, you will effectively change the world.